Hello, this is a quick demonstration of what I've managed to learn during the last 5 days using OpenGL for the first time. My father introduced me to JOGL, and with his help, we were able to both create this demo. So here it is. Okay, so this triangle and this square would be the first thing you would see when opening when creating a JOGL project without actually making any changes yet. So this was the first thing I made any changes to. Using these seconds, which my father created here, I said that whenever it's an even second, show one of them, and when it's an odd second, show the other one. So it just flips back and forth between those two. And what I did was I turned this one upside down, and I switched the positions, and I also made the colors negative for both of them. So that was the first thing I tried. This is the first thing my father showed me. The ability to rotate things, taking advantage of the fact that there is, if you increment a int variable within the display method somehow, you can use that ever increasing number to affect rotation or movement or pretty much whatever you can think of in this program. So that's used for most of these projects, and how we manage to create motion. So looking at different angles, let me go ahead and just set this back up to okay, cool. And then this other one my father created, really cool what he did here. He changed it so the light source was in the very center, XYZ axis, and as you can see, you have an Earth planet orbiting the sun, and then there's a moon orbiting the Earth there, and this is another teapot orbiting the sun, which I thought was pretty funny. I thought that was Saturn at first. Okay, so demos 2, 3, and 4, and 5 were what I've been creating for the last few days. So the first thing I did, it was a weird idea, but I wanted to see if I can actually pull it off, was to have a cube that you can spin with an additional frame that pops up, which, as you can see, is what happens. And so you could just click an arrow button and it will spin in that direction, and not only that, but it'll change colors according to the angle it's going and how fast it's going. So that's what I managed to do here. And the more you click a button, the faster it gets, and you see the vertical value here and the horizontal value, which increases or decreases according to however many times or which button you're pressing. So what I also have here is a view show colors, which shows a few sliders. You can't actually manipulate these, but read-only sliders, if you will, which will show the red, green, and blue values as they're. So if I slow this down a little bit, the slider should also slow down a little bit too. Okay. Another feature I added was the ability to just pause it, and then you can just see what the colors are, and then continue it again. So just to demonstrate that I was able to figure out how to create some form of user interaction with the OpenGL. I guess that was the idea. So, and then of course resets everything. And if you were to just have this thing going, however you have it set up, and you click something else and you click back, it will have reset. Alright. So there's that one. Also, if you click out of it, it'll just automatically close that window, which I thought was pretty cool. And so I was also able to create a clock demonstration here with a second, minute, and hour hand, which are each stretched 3D cone shapes. And I was able to program it to use the system date and time and from a class method. Okay, the next thing I did is this exploding teapot. Boom! Alright. So I was pretty happy with how this turned out. This is actually just a sphere that increases, but I use the incrementing variable to alter the color and the light and pretty much everything else. Everything you see that's happening here, the flying pieces, the pot moving, all the movement, And this is just a sphere that you can't actually see through, but just gives the illusion that the teapot has blown up, but you can't actually. It's instead just being blocked by this growing sphere, which is just getting darker and darker as it loses its shininess. I was also able to alter the colors to make it more orange colored and everything, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to make the pieces fly out in seemingly random order. From here you can tell that there's actually kind of a symmetry to everything, but not from other angles. Anyway, that was the goal here, and this turned out. I was very pleased with how this turned out, and I found out that it's the way I set this up with the series of methods that call like 8 methods at a time, being run through a multi-dimensional for loop. What ended up happening was it's generating 28,800 polygons per second at all times. There are still polygons being created, but once again, they're inside that circle. If I were to remove that circle, you'd still see the teapot, and you'd also see all the pieces showing up. So I'm going to go ahead and just uncomment the light here, the light settings, and then play it again. It's going to look silly, but okay, that's what it looks like without any light. So you can see pretty much how many pieces there are, and I guess I can also comment out the comment out the actual explosion here. So yeah, there's just lots of pieces going on. All right. The next one is I just want to see if I can draw a 3D head, person's head. Just as you can tell, it consists of a lot of 3D shapes like spheres that were stretched, and also some cylinders. And there's a cylinder for his unibrow, and for the sideburns there's also a cylinder. And I did some other stuff like add toruses for ears, and his bottom lip is also a torus, just picking out from inside of this sphere here. And the upper lip is actually the corner of a cube. I could change the angle better. So, and that's how that turned out. And so go ahead and nod for me. Go ahead and nod. Yep. I agree. Yep. All right. So that's the end of that presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.